Kalpee, how are you doing today?
My brother, thank you so much for having me. I'm blessed. Can't complain. How are you?
Awesome, glad to hear it. I'm doing good too. For once, we have sun in Scotland, so I can't complain
Well,
too much.
it's actually grey here today,
Yeah.
so I'm glad you have sun for us.
So let's get started. Everyone needs to know Heaven So Close. The title sits in a beautiful space between longing for something and arriving at something. During this sort of time when you were writing and making the sound, what kind of place were you creating from?
Truthfully speaking, I was not in the best place mentally. I was in the UK and it was very grey. I'm from the Caribbean, so I'm used to,
Yeah.
warm weather, sun all the time. But also like just, throughout your career, you start to second guess yourself at times, you start to doubt yourself. It creeps in and it's like a voice in the back of your head sometimes, your inner voice almost. And I was just kind of like contemplating, whether I was good enough for all these questions to myself. But at the same time, I was, looking for information in books like Rick Rubin's Creative Act and those sorts of books. And there'd be stuff where, sometimes we forget to be grateful. Like when we start our day and, we just remind ourselves that we're lucky and blessed to be able to have this day. Nothing is guaranteed. That frame of mind steps in and that's the mindset I started creating from. So, it was more so, even though I'm in a place, I would call it a rock bottom, a very challenging place, even though I was there. When the information starts to kick in and you're like, you know what, actually, but there's so much to be grateful for today. There's so much to be grateful for. It just completely changes the mood. It just changes perspective, really. And I think in that moment, I'm even blessed to be able to create as a job. Like I've been singing for my entire life and I take that for granted as well. So I kind of like remind myself of that and the words started flowing. I just kind of went with the vibe.
So walk me through the moment that this kind of stopped being an idea, like the vibe found you. And when did it become a song? Like, was there an initial spark? Was it a sound? Was it a lyric?
Yeah,
What moment made everything make sense?
it was a combination of having so I love pianos. I
Mm,
actually can't play piano, but I can produce them and draw them in, right? And make them sound as real as I need to be. And I had this really emotional chord progression going. At the same time, I was in this frame of mind of like just writer's block, stuck, not knowing how to elevate it or what I actually wanted to say on top of it. And I'll be honest, I prayed. I prayed, I asked for guidance just as to what it is I needed to create in that moment based on how I felt emotionally and all that. So when I actually started that process, I remember it clear as day, I lit up stick up Palo Santo. I just kind of like intentionally changed the energy of the room and lyrics started flowing, and it was exactly how I felt in the moment. The lyrics are open mind, take me to the other side, silver
mm,
linings, grateful for life, and so on. I've been trying, give my life to whatever is mine. That's where I was. I just want to be able to live this life and do me unapologetically what I love, be passionate about what I love. That's where I'm at. So that's what really got it into the song process, as in like,
mm.
oh wow, I had this verse and I kept going. I just kind of was like, just don't overthink it. Just let it flow. And if it
Yeah.
stops, you go with the process, and just let it be.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful way to create. I love that.
Yeah, man.
Um, so obviously it's a new song. So before this interview, I wanted to listen to it quite freshly. So I was at the gym earlier, I put it on, and I kind of went with the flow. And I must admit,
Okay.
your sound has a beautiful flow. I listened to
Appreciate
a
you,
lot of your
brother.
work. It does give the modern feeling, but there's like a warmth underneath it. There's a feel like something's rooted deeper. So is that Trinidad coming through? Is that home showing up in it? What is
Right.
that?
I mean, you said it perfectly. That's everything. That's me. Like I am from the Caribbean. I am somebody who is very important for me to create positivity. That's a responsibility in myself. I don't just create unintentionally. Then, because it's for me, like I was writing this yesterday for an interview answer. Music is therapy for me.
Mm,
It's some days I don't even want to touch an instrument because it could be so difficult and technical to try and produce, go into Ableton, get something finished. Some people beat themselves up because when you don't finish something at the end of the day, like a song, let's say, you feel like you're didn't accomplish much. So it for some people, it can take a lot of energy, right? For me, it can. Yeah, so
Yeah. I do love the beauty in that you create from a place of like therapy and love for it. It's not a
yeah.
job. I do. I love that.
Yeah,
So,
sometimes just sorry to interject. It's
no, go
just
for
like
it.
sometimes you speak into your younger self. This last project, that's kind of how that's honestly where I was. I was speaking to my younger self, inner child, and just reminding them to stay on the journey, stay on your way. Things will get challenging. That's part of the process. And the quicker that we could snap back from the challenging moments and realize that, you know what, this is an opportunity for me to learn a lesson towards whatever craft. And that applies to everybody in whatever field. We're all creatives. We're all going to have rock bottom moments, but it is building us up to our best versions of ourselves. And it's a journey. So we have to just remember to look at where we started. Look how far you've come, right?
That leads us on beautifully. So let's go back to when you were younger, or even when you first started taking music more seriously. What would surprise you most about where you ended up? Like, obviously, your sound's changed, you've grown, you've had your ups and downs. So what's been a surprising change if you were sat with your younger self?
You know what? My personality, it's so odd when I look back at like even a year ago. It happens so often now for myself. Like I look back at my personality and I see this constant change. And I don't know if it's because I'm constantly having to, as a self-taught producer, I'm seeking information. We're part of a generation where YouTube has taught me life pretty much. Anything I don't understand, I go to YouTube as a source. So I always looking for the next thing, and I mean, I've been through some tough moments in life that have really altered everything for me. And I didn't expect to be here sonically. I didn't expect to be singing about the things that I'm singing about. I knew that I loved to sing, but it stopped there at one point. I never thought I could produce. There were all these things that weren't on my mind. And now that I've realized that through creativity and just through the longing to learn, you can learn anything. That's my energy now. I didn't realize I could be so good. Not that I'm good at a lot of things, but just to want to be good, just to want to be able to learn is the energy that I have that I wish I knew when I was younger, because it would help me stay on the path a lot faster.
Yeah.
Snap back from the tough moments.
Yeah. Hey, that is 100% something that I've been realizing recently. I started a bit of a creative journey, doing these interviews, podcasting. I always wanted to do it. I thought it would be fun. And now, 10 years on from when I should have started it, here we are.
There we go, brother. Congratulations as well, because I know the amount of time and effort and resources, everything that goes into making it come to life, So I get it, and I respect.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
So, what's something you're obsessed with right now? Like, it could be nothing to do with music,
okay,
but, something that's like shaping the way you create, or even shaping you as a person.
That's such a perfect question, because my obsession right now, which is a bit of a problem, but it's almost inspiring the creativity, sim racing.
All right, talk me through it.
So I've been like a gamer my entire life, right? I love adventure games, Uncharted, Ghost of Tsushima, Yoti. You get what I mean? Everything. But also driving games, racing games, Gran Turismo in particular. And reason for that is I'm an overthinker. I'm somebody who I can get lost in clouds of thought and nothing makes sense, but there's so much information just flying around in there. What driving did for me, which I'm only now being able to voice because I understand it better, right? Also, like the technology of sim racing and games and everything has gotten so much better, the physics and stuff. Anyhow, when I'm driving and I'm learning a track, let's say I'm doing a time trial, I am able to look at that track and that car as like a puzzle. Every corner is very specific. I have a breaking point. I know what speed I can get that corner, and you get faster and faster and faster. And all I can think about in that moment is driving and getting that lap right. And it just clears my mind so much so to the point where I'm like, after a session, wanting to go straight into music, wanting to create to be able to drive and look at my recent videos, It's just so outside of music that I love it. I love it. It's my hobby. That's my biggest hobby right now.
Yeah, no, I love that. Um, do you have a ritual or a habit you do before you create? Obviously, we've just spoke about raising.
Yeah.
Or even before you perform, something that gets you into that headspace.
Um, breathing, some breathing
Mm-hmm.
exercises. I feel nerves from everything. You know, it could be
Mm-hmm.
from an interview. It's silly as well because, and it's a learning thing as well because,
Mm-hmm.
like, let's say even this interview, I get nervous before these interviews. Like, I overthink it. You know, I want it to be well for both of us and everything. You know, so breathing really, really helps me just kind of center myself. You know, or get
Mm-hmm.
rid of the extra energy. Because it's coming from a good place. It's more
Yeah,
excitement, right? But like we again, like you're waiting for a time to tick down and stuff like that. And then on
absolutely.
top of it, we get into the call and we start talking and it's like, now it's you've brightened my day, you know,
Yeah,
because you've given me
yeah.
energy now. So I feel like, oh, what was I ever worried about? And it's just
Mm-hmm.
a reminder that stop living in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You have no control of the future. Bring yourself back, enjoy the moment, let it be and let it flow. Let the journey unfold for itself.
Hey, I honestly, words can't describe how the same I am.
Right.
I was sat waiting, getting ready. You're thinking about it, you're
Yeah.
overthinking it, and it's breathing. Like, it sounds stupid. You have to breathe, but it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, breath work.
Intentional breathing. And in
Yeah.
particular, like, and again, all of these are new things that I constantly just find because
Mm-hmm.
you want a good experience of life, right? Nobody wants to
Yeah.
live in anxiety, right? So it's, 4 breaths in. No, you breathe in for four
Mm-hmm.
seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds and hold for 4 seconds. And you just keep doing that. And all of a sudden it's like, you just kind of get rid of any kind of butterflies or whatever it is you're feeling,
Mm.
right? So yeah, I'm getting used to that.
So, I have a little bit of rapid fire for you. It's just
Okay.
whatever first comes to mind. Do you have a dream collab? Like, you could work with anyone. Who would it be?
Miguel.
Nice. What's one song you wish you were a part of? So you could have been the writer, producer. What's one song that really brings you something warm?
Holy Ghost by Omale.
Ooh, nice
Yeah.
choice. What's the most you lyric you've ever written?
Uh,
Your most like
was,
honest, open, freeing lyric.
I think From Heaven So Close is probably open
Mm-hmm.
mind. Take me. No, this is it. Whether you believe or not, call me a heathen. I'm fighting my demons. I'm drowning in my deepest doubts. I don't even know how to feel right now, but heaven, you feel like love. I want to let go. Those lyrics there encompasses me as a person without any kind of bells and whistles, not trying to please anybody. That's just, it is what it is.
It's beautiful lyrics.
Thank you, brother.
If your song were to have a color, what would that color be?
I like that question. It's a hard
Yeah,
question though. Green.
nice. What's something you hope someone feels at the end of Heaven So Close?
I want them to feel inspired. I want them to feel as though they have all of the energy to do exactly what it is that they want to do in life. That's it. You know?
So take someone who's never really heard you before. They're sitting down for the first time. They're in their safe space. They're comfy. They press play on Heaven So Close for the very first time ever hearing
Yeah.
you. What journey do you want them to be taken on?
I want them to feel, I want them to see their journey. You know,
Mm-hmm.
slow down, firstly, slow down and forget about everything, forget about your devices. I mean, you're probably going to have your phone in your hand, but you know what I mean? As best as we can, just slow down and take a look at how far you've come and all the challenges you've been through to this moment. And and that's what Heaven So Close is the good and the bad. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
me wanting to let go of the things that hold me back in life, all the things that give me anxiety to this point in life. I want to let go. I want to lose control, you know, because we want control in life and we don't have that control in life. You know, nobody knows what's happening in the next 20
Mm-hmm.
minutes, 5 seconds, you know, so that's why it's important to really remember those things. So the journey is just about recognizing the journey, getting to a place where you can understand, okay, in order for me to get to the next step, I need to grow as a person and I need to open my mind to things that might make me uncomfortable. So lose control.
So if you were to hang up music now, or even 20 years time, when
Right.
you're done with this, what do you want your listeners' journey to be have taken through your career, through your sound?
Such a good question. Ask me that question one more time. Let me process it better.
So say it could be today, it could be 20 years time, when music is done for you, when it's no
Yeah.
longer a production, a creation, when it's just something you get to enjoy. What do you want your listeners to sit back and think about when they hear your name, they hear your sound?
I want them to think that I've always tried to be positive,
Hmm.
regardless of where hype might lead new artistry and, like all the production and technicalities and beyond that stuff, which I appreciate. I just remember like is important for me to put positivity out into the world. That's just what it is, you know?
Personally, as a listener, I get that sense of honesty. I get a sense
Yeah,
of like warmth and beauty and home and the positivity. Like you get this feeling of, yeah, this
yeah.
is it.
That's
It's
amazing to hear.
nice.
I love
So
that.
obviously, kind of, there's two questions here for you. How does being from the Caribbean or even Trinidad itself shape you for music? And obviously, as you said about sharing positivity,
Yeah.
but what about the other things, the deeper things, the cultural things? How does that shape your music? Do you try and sneak
Well,
anything in, or are you very open with it?
so that's been a journey as well. And that's something it's almost new again for me because it changes, right? You get to points in your life and it's almost like you reset. And rock bottom is kind of like the reset, right? It's like, okay, you have all this information and all this skill, let's start again.
Yeah.
So I've always sung. I've sung since the age of 6. Trinidad is a carnival calypso country. So
Yes.
through primary school and all secondary school and everything, it's naturally part of your extracurricular activities. You'd be in choir or you'd be playing steel pan as something you had to do, right? So we have all these little things just locked in the back of our mind. And I've been really intentionally trying to bring more of the Trini accent into well, I do pop music. It's really blended, but
Yeah.
it's like Afro mixed with soca in terms of
Yeah.
rhythms, and now I'm trying to just again like find cool ways to bring little phrases in that, like how do I find the balance? How do I
Mm.
find the balance of both worlds of Trinidad and the rest of the world and find this
Yeah.
new that's how I find a new sound, so really tapping into what calypso could be. Calypso is a serious art form, talking about
Yeah.
like governments and stuff, right? Still is. And it's something I've done for so many years, but how could I now reinvent that and put my spin on it, bring electronic instruments and, try to make soca with a totally, you know what I mean? Like break
Mm.
all the rules. Yeah. So I've definitely been, and then beyond that, um, just like Trinidad being such a mixed country,
Mm.
there's every creed and race find an equal place. That's something that is part of our anthem, right? And it's so true. You go to that country and you realize how diverse it is, the culture, the food, because of just the mix of people. My mom is black, mixed, but predominantly
Mm.
black. My dad is Indian and Syrian. So I'm
Yeah.
what you would call Dogla pretty much, right? And that's what the body of music is encompassing.
Mm.
That journey of mix and identity.
Mm. I get the mixed background as well. I did a bit of a dive into my family history.
Yeah.
My mum's side has Malayan and other
Wow.
mixes, but also Scottish, but she was born in Germany. My dad's side has
Man.
South African as well as Scottish, so
Yeah.
I get the blend.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'm trying to find your way through it. It is,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
So, what's your creative place? Like some people like to go and lie in a field, some people like the beach, some people like their sofa next to their cat.
Yeah.
What's your place that lets you just be free and create?
I personally, it changes obviously because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
a creative space could become dry, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it's usually like in whatever space I'm living in. Let's say I'm in the UK right now. It's gonna be this living room. Right here, I am cool. I can do whatever I want. The cat is over there when he's that's in, right? And I'm good here. I'm comfortable. I'm not somebody who really needs to go out too much to find that in other people. But beyond my room, then just nature. Being out in the grass, barefooted in the grass, a little bit of grounding. Yeah, real simple, you know?
So what's next for you? What's next for Kalpee as a whole?
Yeah. I mean, definitely more music. I'm
Mhm.
really, really experimenting with what the sound is going to be, how I want to represent myself, and the sound, the genre might change, or at this point it's genreless because every song is totally different to each other, right? So yeah, I'm excited for the next journey. And also, who knows, a little bit of sim racing. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Um, Kalpee, this has been everything. Before we go, everyone I interview leaves an anonymous message for the next. It's something I like to do. I want to keep it going through my whole career of doing
Okay.
interviews. My last said, if it doesn't matter in the next hour, why does it matter? Don't worry about it, just do your thing. What's something you would like to pass on to the next? It could be a question, it could be
Yeah.
advice, absolutely anything.
I think don't waste time overthinking what it is you're passionate about. You could feel it, allow the universe to guide
Mhm.
you towards it and accept the challenges. Remember that everything is necessary. Good, the
That's,
bad, the ugly.
mhm. No, that's beautiful. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you, brother. Me too.
Thank you so much for your time. This has been a beautiful interview. Really has.
I appreciate you, man. Likewise. I appreciate your time, bro.